fraternity, if it was vibrant, if it was competitive as it was some years ago. Let's listen to what JMJ had to say. You mentioned something that I have interest in. It's got to do with the dancehall fraternity. You said back then it was
yes.
highly competitive.
Too much.
Is it what we are experiencing now?
No, it's you see, music, like Obrafo said, is a dynamic. It changes.
There was a
time it was reggaeton. There was a time it was trap. There was a time it was the South Side beats. It was like it keeps changing. And reggae dancehall has always been a worldwide food that the whole world has consumed over and over. So now it just happens that it's not the food in demand as it used to be back then, basically. And that time saw a lot of generations like Iwan, Stoneboy, Jupiter, Episode, Kakis, Samini. Mugis is a pure reggae dancer boy. Pure. Mugis is a DC high grade boy. I mean, proper. Those days, his name is Gogome.
First, I actually saw him when somebody won the mobiles.
Yes, he flew with him to there. Yeah. So it just happens that each dispensation and then there's a taste of what the people want to eat or consume.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that was JMJ and what he had to say. Then I brought it down again and said, look, some 3 years ago, you had said that because Kaki, Misvi, and Ebony were off the scene, the female side of that fraternity is dead. And this is what he had to say. Some 3 years ago, you had said that because Kaki, Misvi, Ebony, because they've been off the game, the female dancehall scene is dead. Is it still dead?
Or even dancehall itself is not as vibrant. Forget about even a female or a male. Dancehall itself, as of now, even in Jamaica. I mean, let me tell you what's happened. Even in Jamaica, where the headquarters of the genre
they itself, are suffering too.
The word is not suffering. Afrobeat is virtually. I mean, I've seen videos of some of their tourism ministers talking about the fact that even on their radio, on their airtime, Afrobeat is everything. I have seen top renowned dancehall acts come on YouTube talking. Some were virtually nagging and complaining. You know, Jamaica virtually export music. if I want to put it that way, is one of their export because the number of artists coming from that small island that brings revenue to them. Because, I mean, in each summer, not more than 30 Jamaican artists are on tour, and that's revenue. That's good money. So the conversation is not even about female artists. Dancehall itself is not like it used to be. Even in Jamaica, forget about Ghana. Even in Jamaica, I have friends who tell me that you'll be hearing our brothers, their songs banging even in the club, on radio. I mean, what's his name? There's this Jamaican artist who was even trying to throw shades at Afrobeat because of Charlie. It's their food, and all of a sudden, the taste buds of their people are beginning to get inclined with Afrobeat. So, I mean, they want to protect their turf or their export, for lack of better words.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So. You had JMJ in studios with me, like I said. Daddy Bosco, good morning. Let me be clear. I want to know, are you still the chairman for the Rastafarian Council of Ghana?
Yeah, but I believe I'm here in my capacity as somebody in the music space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because, Rastafari got nothing to do with reggae and dancehall. I mean, they're
okay.
two separate.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Okay, cool. Mr. Logic, good morning.
Good morning. How is it?
It's been a while. Feels good to see you again.
Yes, thank you.
You haven't been to this studio, right? When
It's been a while. I haven't been here before. This is my first time coming into the new studio. Yeah.
How do you see it?
Oh, yeah, it's nice. It's nice. That's how radio station should be. I mean, refreshing and nice. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Rutai, once again, welcome.
Manche, thank you.
So you there?
I've been here for a while.
Here be your home.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I named the show
Oh, really?
Showbiz 927. I named it Showbiz 927. I did.
This is shocking.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, I mean to me, because I didn't know this. Seriously, I didn't know this.
I named it. I hosted the show. I mean, from the inception.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I started this one.
Great.
I started Showbiz 927. Yeah.
On this note, good morning, Mr. Francis Doku. How are you doing?
The general.
I have something to say, but I'll say it next week. Yeah, I have something to say on this thing
Right.
you said, but I'll say it next week.
Right.
I'll say it. But anyway, Daddy, let me start with you. So I'm sure you heard JMJ, where the conversation started and where it actually ended. What do you have to say on that?
Okay, so and let me give a caveat, because most people say I'm too optimistic. Do you understand? But when I heard dancehall in Ghana, homegrown dancehall, for instance, those days I used to play on Groove FM. And what's the name of your group again? River House Crew. And these kids used to hustle. I mean, those days. And if you see what you call it, Logic and the other
And the team.
call the names.
Let's put in the team.
Good.
Yes.
And young men, challenge, they're hustling you to play there. Because, you know, in those days, close your eyes and remember 1997. You're playing more Shabba, Juju, whatever. And they're bringing sounds. And then Rutai too had a feature on Rockstone's album, Sweetie Sweetie. Now, you could count on your fingers people practicing reggae dancehall at that time. Today, you can't count on your fingers. And that's why I say, me, from where I'm sitting, I've seen some growth and some improvement. And you see, you need to also appreciate that music is not static. Dancehall, as we know it right now, is an evolution from the reggae roots. I remember you was talking about things like reggaeton and all those things. So I'm not surprised at some of the things that are happening in Ghana. Dig this. When Samini came on the scene, Samini as we know him today, whether reggae dancehall or something artist, when he came on the scene, he came on as Hip Life. You understand? Aha. So for them to be even bold now and record a whole album, I think Samini's last album,
Untamed.
pure.
Full reggae album, yeah.
So for me, that's what I'm saying. You see, if you enter the story halfway and you don't know the beginning, you might jump and feel a certain way. But if you were there at the beginning
And
you've
then
seen the
to
growth,
after what Daddy said, the Mali album by Wale. It's a typical dancehall album, so I just wanted
thank
to
you.
throw that in. as
You
well.
know, so for me, I've seen some, what you call it. You might say the levels of intensity may vary over a period of time. When I was coming, I was remembering your youth, the tall one. He called it Vibrant Fire. One song, and he changed the dynamics in the space. You know, so for some of us, Charlie, we're excited about what's happening with reggae and dancehall.
Now,
That's why I'm telling you that. You see, if somebody who saw the story just around the era of Samini and Stoneboy and
won't appreciate.
but for those of us,
all right.
look, this young man, I'm so proud of him, because from those days, young hustler doing reggae dancehall, go Jamaica, went to live in Jamaica for years, he's come back. That is the evolution. So for me, what I'm saying is growth. And that's why I conceptualize it within a certain framework and say, even this whole conversation about reggae dancehall in Ghana is a bit misplaced, because you see, we should be talking about the evolution of Ghanaian music.
All right.
And the reggae dancehall bit is not a new development. Prof. Collins will tell you that the Gome and
Gamache.
it came from Jamaica 200 years ago.
Wow.
So there's been a constant fusion, a constant intermarriage of musics from here and from there. Do you understand? So for me, it's not even about just the reggae dancehall bit. My thing is, so our youths who are playing reggae dancehall even right now, where is the evolution? And where are they taking Ghana music? Because you see, if you talk about a group like Osibisa, a Ghanaian act that took high life and made it cosmopolitan, they fused it with international flavors, so that they named it what crisscross rhythms exploding with happiness. That for me it should be the conversation. Yeah. Otherwise, what will happen is we will always stay in the shadow of. When anytime you say reggae dancehall, that means you're in somebody's shadow.
Mr. Logic.
Yes.
Let me.
I mean, I will pick up from where Daddy ended.
Okay.
Because he basically gave the background of the whole movement. I mean, he gave part of it. I think I don't agree with JMJ. His statement, I would say, in most times, JMJ makes statement like this. He's my friend, but I think he should refrain from always making reggae dance. I'm not saying that I'm speaking for reggae dance. I'm speaking for the genre and those who are in it. He most times speaks this way, and I think this is the second time I'm countering some of such unfortunate statements from GMG. The other statement he made, I may not be able to recall, but there was a statement that I counted. Then we have to call each other behind the scenes and clear things up. You cannot say that in the absence of Miss V and Kaki and Ebony, reggae dancehall is
The female
the
side,
female
yeah.
side. You don't have to categorize it that way. Like Daddy Bosco said, one song from Gaban Fire changed the whole scene, not just the reggae scene, the high life scene, the whatever genre scene. It was just a banger called reggae dance or Afro dance or whatever. You understand? So don't look at the music from a genre point of view. As in, reggae dancehall is not competitive. It's dead, even in Jamaica. It's not dead in Jamaica. Jamaicans' official music or genre is reggae and dancehall, combined with calypso from the other islands all together. I mean, the Caribbean music. But these Caribbeans came from Africa. Anytime you are speaking music, you have to speak history. Because music is a cultural, creative product. You cannot just say music, genre. When you speak that way, you appear shallow to me. That's why when you need to discuss music and genres, you need to speak to historians. That's how come that the Bosco mentioned Professor Collins. These are historians. If you mention her life, they will take you 200 years ago. You were not even alive. But they will go into the history. That's how you speak. So you can appreciate, like you said, the evolution, how the music has evolved into what level it is now. You appreciate it. You will not start comparing. Jamaicans are Ghanaians, Africans. This thing called reggae dancehall came from this part of the world. Ghana, West Coast, Africa. Taken to Jamaica, brewed there, championed it, and renamed it. You understand? But then once it's a black-oriented music from Africa, you don't start to say that it's not competitive in Ghana. I'm looking at the historic side, then I will come to the commercial side of his statement.
Okay.
So historically, reggae dancehall belongs to us. So whether it's booming in Ghana, not booming in Ghana, it is a genre that must be taken serious by the media, by promoters, whoever. Now, speaking of Jamaica, the dancehall is not dead in Jamaica. I don't know the last time JMJ went to Jamaica and who gave him that intel. Jamaicans do reggae dancehall every day. There's new artists in Jamaica coming out for reggae and dancehall.
But is it hot?
I'm coming. What is hot? Hot is who has the trending song. When a song becomes a banger today, it becomes a trending song. Until Black Sheriff came in, we had other songs. Then his song became the trending hot. You call the hot. So if today we have a new artist, like the lady you interviewed, if she has the biggest song now in Ghana, she will become the hot thing. So you don't say that it's not competitive because we don't have a trending reggae dancer. We have Stoneboy, we have Shatta, we have Jupiter. They may not have what you call the number one song,
No.
but they have songs that are playing all over the place. So now, talking about the competitiveness of the genre, before Vibrant Fire came out, Stone, Shatta, Samini, they were all there. I brought Vibrant Fire out. At that time, you can also say that the scene wasn't buzzing or trending or whatever. But Stone and Shatta and Samini were doing that. They were still on top of their game. Then we made a song called Mampe, which is still playing today.
Yeah.
So it's about who brings what song at what time. If we are able to get a new dancehall song from, let's say, my new artist, if her song is able to trend, go to number one, it becomes the biggest song in Ghana. Then you can start to name it if you want. To say, oh, we have a reggae dancehall. Is it then that you say that reggae dancehall is back? As we speak, what's the biggest high life song in Ghana? Do we have the biggest high life song in Ghana? Do we have any? Just on top of mine.
No.
We don't. Will you say high life is not competitive? But we have high life producers and promoters still doing high life.
But Logic,
I'm coming. I want you to understand that such statements, they are not commercially. What do I say? They don't make commercial sense. Do we have what's the biggest rap hip hop song we have in Ghana now? The biggest hip hop song or rap song we have in Ghana now? The biggest. On top of mine.
on top of mind.
You see, you are caught. The biggest.
So
In actual sense, I'm saying that there is nothing like competitive. You are talking about the number of artists challenging or competing each other. Then I will understand that we have Stone, Shatta, Samini, Episode, Jupiter. Maybe we don't have a new artist who is making waves. But it is competitive because Stone and Shatta are still competing with each other on the level of streams and who is at the top. They are still competing. Samini is also in. He's still doing his stuff. So what do you call like before? Because we don't have Kaki around. Is that why it's not competitive?
you see, so I'm trying to get into JMJ's mind, and I'm doing that because
If you get into his mind, it is still commercially not. I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use a word that will offend him, but it is still commercially. That was you are a dictionary.
JMJ is my brother, so
No, it's a brother, but we need to deal with the issue drastically because this is a high table of reggae dancehall that you have here.
Exactly.
Because to have me move seriously, I've stopped speaking on issues lately.
why?
Because Charlie, I mean, everybody is speaking. So those who want to work, you keep quiet and work. It's not easy to get Ruta in here. He told you he named this show. It's not easy to get that Bosco in here. I mean, look at this morning. The number of people you have here. You have the heavyweight. And Bulldog is also on your Zoom. So who again should speak? Let's deal with the issue now. You don't have to speak. To me, such comparisons, it doesn't make sense. JMJ is my brother, but he should refrain from always making reggae dancehall look as if it is dying, it's dead. It's no.
Okay, Utai.
What's it?
I don't know which angle you'd want to pick this from.
Okay, I'll look at it on a global sphere. Okay, I'm looking at it from a very like a global approach. I think to say that dancehall is dead, I mean, use the word dead, is a bit too harsh for me. But the reality is that on a global scene, not just Ghana, on a global scene, Afrobeat is taking over. That's why a while ago, Logic was asking us, what's the biggest high life song in Ghana? What's the biggest hip hop song in Ghana? What's the biggest whatever in Ghana? And we could not give answers because the space has been filled with a lot of Afrobeat songs. Because if you ask me right now, what's the biggest Afrobeat song in Ghana? I'll say Terminator by
Kim Promise.
Or mention any of Davido's or whatever, because those are the ones that are like really like making the waves right now. And there are a few factors that attributes to that. I've also heard a few people in the Jamaican media complain about the fact that Afrobeat is taking over. And not long ago, Bounty Killer's remarks on Afrobeat and the fact that Afrobeat don't really do a lot of lyrics. They don't say it much, but they pick topics and repeat the topics, and they get everybody vibing to the topics and all of that. They attest to the fact that Afrobeat is actually filling the space, and it's not been just today. Afrobeat started picking this spot on the international scene a while ago. That's why the likes of the Stone Boys and all, even though they're all dancehall reggae soldiers, but for business purposes, they began making Afrobeat songs and making a lot of Afrobeat collabos, even though they still would want to once a while pick one dancehall giant, do a collabo, to stay afloat. But the truth is that on the international scene, right now, the promoters are booking more Afrobeat artists than they are booking dancehall artists, okay? And from where I sit, that is what I am seeing. But locally, you see, the Ghanaian music thing is very funny. Today, a song can come out, like we gave the Vibrant Fire example. A song can come out today and change the whole narrative. And because, and I'm saying this without apology, because we are not very smart business people, once a song comes out and blows, everyone is going to do that also. Yes, so now, when you listen to the new boys who are coming up, everybody's trying to sound like Blacko. Hey. A while ago, all of them were trying to sound like Sack. Do you get it? We are not smart people. We don't believe in being unique. Everybody wants to toe a certain line because someone told that line, made it, so everyone wants to go there. And that is what is happening locally. That's why with the absence, or in the absence of the khakis and the... you cannot even... Well, khaki said bye. But the Miss V's and the rest, the AK songstresses are still doing... Even the last AK songstress biggest song was an Afrobeat. Yeah. So you see, but... it doesn't mean that they've left the scene. So the scene is not completely dead. It's not dead.
No, there is nothing like
but
that.
you see, that like I'm saying, a song may come out today and suddenly change the conversation in Ghana. But on a global scene, because our Nigerian cousins made a few moves, they are appearing on radio and TV shows that used to feature the dancehall artists. And getting that attention that we used to get. Okay? So you find Burna Boys sitting with Jimmy Fallon. You find, when just one of us is able to make it there, like recently, Stoneboy was on the Breakfast Club. And, we're all so proud because NTNC. You see, so once we're able to get there, then we're like, but the Nigerians are, you see the way we made so much noise about King already with Beyonce, Wale and Beyonce. Brown's King Girl wasn't such a big deal in Niger for Wizkid and his fans because for them it's a normal. Usual, it's normal. Do you get it? It's normal. They see that all the time. But for us, it was a big thing, and I still feel that we haven't even celebrated Wale enough for that thing because see, Beyonce is there. Beyonce is a thing. You know what I mean? And considering the fact that in Ghana, we don't have certain things that Nigeria have, certain resources, certain opportunities that Nigeria has, we don't have it. We need to even celebrate it some more. And we haven't done that. But the point I'm making is that Afrobeat has filled a space, okay?
I'm sorry to cut through. Right. I want us to define what Afrobeat is, because it's like what do we call, what are we terming as reggae dance in Ghana? What is Afrobeat? So okay. Because
thank you. Let me respond to this.
Yes.
You see, and the truth is what you have just mentioned something. Yes. You've drawn my attention to something very, very important. The truth is that all the artists that are going around the world, not only Africa, all the artists who are going around the world, okay, and are branding themselves as Afrobeat artists are people who are heavily influenced by dancehall. And so, when you take a look at when you cite Burna Boy as an example, sign Wizkid, sign Davido,
Timaya.
cite all of them, cite all of them as examples. These guys are guys heavily influenced by dancehall, and you see, that happened because they came on the scene at a time when dancehall was
when the Jamaicans
when the Jamaicans
waves in
were
Africa.
making, and even across
Yeah,
Europe,
yeah, across.
even across Europe, all the promoters, all the big festivals,
Even in Africa.
and in Africa, they
Yeah.
were coming all the time. They were here.
Yes.
Now, where they would book, where they would have booked
Maybe Shaggy.
a Shaggy or something, they'll book a Burna Boy,
Yes.
because they're the fresh waves now, and it's so because all of these guys have been influenced by the Shaggys and all of them.
That's the foundation. Yes.
The foundation. But you see, it's not just only, not just Shaggy or dancehall. These guys have created something that is so sweet and so powerful. Okay? Our Niger cousins have come up with something
That's exactly
that has
what myself and
elements.
Danny Bosco
Yeah,
were
they've
discussing.
you see, they've
Before coming in
created.
here.
Yeah, before you see,
I
our
mean,
Niger
that's on the
cousins
side of production.
on the side of
I would
production.
really like you
let
to
me
save
let me
that.
let me
Yes, save
let
that
me
part.
say,
Let's
yeah,
get
let me,
there.
yeah.
We need
So
to
let,
get
let,
there.
let me land.
Yeah.
So you see, these guys, plus most of them, yeah, the Two Faces and all of those, all those guys are like reggae dancehall
Yeah,
people,
reggae, pure
influenced
reggae.
by their own traditional juju music, even our hip life, okay, influenced because at some point they were even rushing into Ghana and calling themselves hip life artists. When hip life took over Africa, at least the two most important markets in Africa, South Africa and Nigeria. Yeah, all these boys were coming here claiming to be hip life artists. Okay, now they see themselves bigger than something. I mean, they see themselves something bigger than hip life because we ourselves denounced hip life anyway.
Yeah, we did.
So they have a bit of high life, their traditional juju thing, the juju music, plus dancehall, hip hop, and even R&B. Because you see, all these boys, or most of them, have come from their talent shows.
Yes.
Okay, their talent shows there, the Niger talent shows, and most of them were appearing on those shows as
Pop
like R&B artists.
pop artists, yeah.
Then when they come into the world and they want to go into full practice, they begin to do something totally different from the R&B. They do a combination of all of these things. You see, so what they've created is something that has outplayed not just dancehall, but the whole world.
Yeah, the whole
music.
version, even hip hop,
Everywhere.
R&B.
I mean, these guys,
the
recent Super Bowl they had
Yeah.
in America had these guys from Nigeria,
yeah.
Afrobeat
Burna Boy
artists,
and all those guys.
performing on those ones. That's remarkable.
yeah, Thames.
Thames and all. See, who even walked up to Thames? Or this brother, DJ Khaled. Walked to Thames, at the end of the performance, to congratulate Thames and say, "Oh man, I'm happy to meet you." See, these guys have created something. And for me, we only can applaud them. But let's not shoot down what influenced them to get here. Because we'll be doing a great disservice to the foundation.
Yes,
Yeah, so
foundation,
let's
yes.
not condemn it. But what the guys have done is powerful.
Okay, so if you just tune in, this is 3FM 92.7. I'm having a conversation with Daddy Bosco, Mr. Logic, and Root Eye. Logic, like I said, I was trying to get into the minds of JMJ, and I'm doing so because should you cast your mind back to, let's say, 2010 coming, I wouldn't want us to go deep down because I'll leave that for Daddy Bosco. Should we limit it to 2010 coming? At a point, if you should flip, you will easily see Samini. You should easily see Jupiter. Stonewall was also coming at the time. I1, one of the greatest lyricists I think we had it in this game. And then so on and so forth. Good Boy Rankings, them all came into this picture. Kaki did, Vibrant Fire did.
Yes.
As we sit, that one dancehall artist that one could easily look at and say, yo, this is the future, this is that guy coming. Because at the time, Samina was pulling Stonebwoy along, and we all saw it. Other musicians were also coming from the high grade family. We saw them. Well, some couldn't be as big as Samini, but we all knew what they were doing. But for the past 2 years, well, maybe we can even go to 2-3. It seems that thing is no more. That is why when somebody like GMJ says that, well, maybe dead or it's down, I would want to give it an ear because it is not as hot as we experienced some years ago. You've all given reasons why it is so, because now there's something new we are all enjoying. But in all this, even when Dancehall was actually hot, High Life still had its way through. Hip Life at a point was a bit shaky. So if today Afrobeat seems to be the ish, what is happening to your dancehall, Mr. Logic?
Well, I think what made me uncomfortable is the analogy he gave with the question you asked about whether reggae dancehall is still competitive. I mean, you are talking about continuity of reign, how we've been able to sustain the reign of reggae dancehall in Ghana, and that is not something that you can control as an industry. That's how come I gave you that whole picture of any song that makes it to the #1 spot becomes the trending genre, whether hip life, high life, Afrobeat, whatever. Any song that makes it to the #1 becomes the trend. So as it is now, we don't have a trending dancehall song, but we still have dancehall brands as our major exports. Stonebwoy, Saturday. I mean, regardless of how long they've been here, you recall 10 years, that's like a decade ago. Those were the times they were coming fresh. So obviously, it's been a while, and these guys are still on their feet. So you can say that we don't have. I would have loved that he gave a very open description to the whole issue, as in we don't have new, because even in high life, who are the new high life artists we have in Ghana? We still don't have like a banging new high life artist. Blacko is the newest thing in hip hop, like a Ghanaian hip hop. But you still have Amrado and
Is he doing hip hop? Because
his style is a mixture.
I've heard him a few times say high life somewhere.
It's a mixture of so many things. Yes. So what I'm saying is that when asked such question, don't downgrade the genre to an extent that will make people think that commercially we are out, whilst we have majors in there still plying the trade, like Stonebwoy, Shatta, and Samini, and Episode, and all these guys, as Raskuku, they are all still trading. The question is, we don't have new banging dancehall artists. New, that's the word. Because we equally don't have new banging high life artists.
But your old guys are also doing something else.
Which one?
I mean, Stone is now doing Afrobeat.
No, I'm coming.
Episode is
I am
doing
coming
high
to Afrobeat now. I'm coming to that. You just took the words out of my mouth. Now, talking about, I asked Rutai, what's the definition of Afrobeat? To me, dancehall, listen carefully, aside the pattern of singing, dancehall itself is an Afro beat. I'm coming deeper into it technically. Aside the pattern of singing, whatever language that we use to sing, dancehall itself instrumentally is an Afro beat. But then because the Jamaicans have championed it and made it theirs, that's how come now they are even marvel at the level at which Afrobeat has taken over the world. What they are even doing is Afrobeat. If we should go into the history of it, that's why I took you through the history of how the reggae dancehall came. Now let me come to Afrobeat on the commercial market.
And even the Jamaicans here, the reason they may sound just slightly different,
The reason
they sound slightly different is the fact that Jamaican has been influenced slightly by the American music scene.
Thank you, but they know their African roots, how it has influenced their musical existence. Now, Afrobeat, you ask, Afrobeat is taking over. It's not only in Ghana, like Uta said, it's all over the world. Even hip hop, R&B was affected. Now, why would someone want to book a Burna Boy instead of a Shaggy or a DiMarco? It's because these Nigerians, let's use the Nigerians, which I said our cousins, but I want to demarcate my statement. The Nigerians, so that we all understand that they are doing something we are not doing. These Nigerians realized that pop music, they were able to like smartly understand the space and saw that hip hop, R&B is gradually fading. When all the R. Kellys and the Aliyahs and all these ones were, the Chris Browns were like doing the same thing all the time. Then they sat, look at what they have. Afrobeat is a typical, to me, it's pop music. Because the pattern of singing is pop.
current trend
Yes,
is-
it's pop.
Yeah.
To me.
And even Bernard's biggest song
Yes.
has some samples from
From the Tony Braxton.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is that the Nigerians found something different for the word. That's melody. That's why if you listen to a Nigerian song compared to a Ghanaian song, you could clearly tell that this is a Nigerian, this is a Ghanaian, because our ways of composing song, we are still behind time. If I was able to get into the studio before your young artist left here, I would have made some observations to you. You realize that when she was singing, when she was doing the rendition, she sang very well. She sounded so sweet. When she was singing her own song, because of the composition errors, she sounded flat. Did you see that? Did you feel that? Ruta, did you feel it? Maybe you wouldn't want to say, but these are technical things that I will always want to say. Reasons why I wanted to get into the studio when I was with Daddy Bosco behind the scenes. When she was singing
the Adele song,
she
Sounded
sounded sweeter. Do you know why? Because it was properly arranged, written, composed, and melody made. So she herself, you could feel the emotions from when she was singing Adele song compared to her own song. So I'm telling you that technically we have a problem. That is why we are not there. It's not about dancehall and reggae.
Okay.
This seriously, Adekam. You want to ask a question?
Yes,
Okay,
I
let me
want
pause
to.
here.
And what I would want to ask, it's going to be a different thing altogether. So you know what? Let me give you like a minute
To land.
and then
So I
I'll
think this conversation, seriously, you should have started this conversation from 10 o'clock. You shouldn't have had any guests. Oh, seriously. Because to have Daddy Bosco,
seriously.
Ruta and myself here,
would have needed a lot of time.
This time is short.
It's short. That's true.
You won't get nothing from the conversation because we need to explain, break it into pieces.
Because you have just mentioned something very important,
That's what I'm
something
saying.
that I'm so passionate about. Songwriting.
Very technical.
Songwriting.
Our
That's
problem.
another thing. You
Our
see,
problem.
I think the Afrobeat thing, the Afrobeat thing has worked and has pushed everyone to a corner and have taken over the space. Because you see, when they are writing even a party song, the party song is something that if you are able to understand. you will relate to it.
The relation is high.
Okay. All right.
The time is short. We have like 10 minutes here.
When I dropped the artwork, a friend of mine said, well, it is because they are, and he said they are in terms of the dancehall thing, it's because they are too rowdy.
Oh.
And no, logic, hold on.
Past that
No,
stage.
hold on. No.
Old fashioned mind. Who said that? I said be old fashioned. I'm rude. Where?
No, allow me to learn, please.
Tell the person say be old fashioned. That thing will pass that level.
And my issue- no, I'm saying something. So he said,
Yes.
well, because
The dance nice enough.
Nice. What is rude?
he said no. So
Yes.
he said they are so rowdy.
Oh, come on.
Look at what Stone and Shatta did on the VGM stage, and I'm
Many
going
years
back.
ago.
I'm going back to that incident because of how it was reported out there on international media.
Do you know why you shouldn't be surprised at that incident?
I shouldn't be surprised?
Yes, you should be
Why?
surprised because Stone and Shatta, they were the biggest. I mean, they were the biggest, regardless of what they were battling on that time. They are the biggest art at that time. Those are spoken. So, obviously, when these two people who are so tense, I mean, when they got into the auditorium, it was so tense that their presence called for a lot of, security attention. So, if something should happen in that nature, obviously you expect the whole media to come at it. It's not because they are rowdy. They want to rebuke that statement the person made so that we clean
Because
that.
I think it's baseless, it's
Baseless,
disrespectful,
yes.
and it's derogatory.
Derogatory, I want to
and
deal
you
with
should
it,
tell the
pa.
person to render an
Apology,
apology.
whoever it is.
I'll tell you something. Right now, as we're speaking, one of the best places for live music is just across the street from
Gold
from
Coast.
Jubilee House, Gold Coast. Tonight is a reggae and
reggae night.
dancehall night. And I'll tell you something. Shout outs to Willie. William is one of the avant-garde and people in the country. He's doing Gold Coast. He's got 2 joints of Gold Coast in London. and he started at airport residential area. And now, nearly every month, he does a night of reggae and dancehall. If we were rowdy, really not go give us that place.
Jubilee is just around the corner.
It's behind the police headquarters.
Yes.
So I'm throwing an open invitation to that friend of yours to meet me there tonight. When he or she comes,
Let's
she
have a
say,
good time.
I'm the guy who made this statement. I'm going to buy him a
A
drink.
drink.
No, seriously
Yes,
speaking.
yes. It's
Come
not-
see
it's
how
not- it's
come
not-
see how
Because you
nice
see-
the dance is.
Exactly.
And what I'll quickly chip in is the fact that when we talk like that, we're losing sight of the bigger picture. Do you know Ampedu is the Ghanaian who did the first reggae song in our country?
Wow.
Caleb Olenakai. So when people, that's why I said for me, people like
They
me,
don't understand. That's why
knowing where reggae and dancehall is coming from in Ghana, and I hear these statements, I say, oh, maybe it's like when you go to a movie house and you start watching the movie from the middle,
You
or
wouldn't understand it.
getting to the end, you can make certain
That's
statements.
right.
But if you even saw the trailer before the movie came,
You appreciate it.
and you were in the movie room, you'll appreciate.
Okay, so to that young man or that young lady who didn't see what you saw some 20 years ago, let's say the person actually picked up the pieces from 2010 when the Trigger Redeem was all over the place from that time till now, and that person is saying, I think the thing it's I wouldn't want to say that the thing is not as competitive again, because at the time you had at least 2-3 people and they were hot.
No,
and
you
even
see-
after these 3 people, we have people, let's say 3 A-class artists, but down there you have about 4, 5, 6
You know
B-class
something?
artists
You
who
know
are also
something?
doing the
No,
thing.
no,
That
no,
was
no,
making
no,
the thing a bit.
I think people are getting it twisted.
Yes.
That's why I said, if I say give me the top 3 reggae dancehall artists of all time, I'm sure you mentioned Samini.
Yeah.
Samini's entry into the music business was Hip Life.
Live life.
Stoneboy, similar.
Similar.
Who else?
Tata equally.
And you're talking about Ghanaians who grew up in a certain culture. Naturally, they will evolve. And their evolution shouldn't be seen a certain way. Do you get me? For me, reggae dancehall is as vibrant as maybe even more. You know why? Because you have a few more artists who are accepted internationally, who are from that space. The guy who's taking Ghana to the Grammys 3 times, he's from reggae dancehall.
Rocky.
You understand? Rocky is doing a certain fusion.
Yes.
Do you understand? But primarily, that's what we know him for. So for me, I think maybe the next time people are talking reggae dancehall, they should situate it in the context of
Okay.
Ghanaian music.
Yes.
Mr. Logic,
Yes. Yes.
High Life has got its time. Hip Life did same. Dancehall had come. It's no more. Now it's
Who says it's no
no,
more?
no.
The other day you just
No, no.
signed some artists.
I signed a new.
No.
new
My
reggae
daughter
dance
is a reggae dancehall
Listen,
artist.
So
He says no more.
no.
Are you part of the propaganda?
Oh, no.
Let's understand it so that we know how to,
I am saying-
how to tackle your deal with you.
No, you see,
Before we go.
I'm saying it's no more because
Yes.
as we speak,
Yes.
it is not like the number one.
I gave you the
Yes,
the answer.
and so
Yes.
I'm about asking you that.
Yes.
Will we get to that point?
We are about to get there.
We are about
In fact, let me make this statement here because you've given me the platform to market. In fact, I am about to make that number 1 spot again, like I did with Mampi and Dancehall King.
Thank you.
Because the lady I just signed, we are about to make that mark. I'm saying that here, and it will happen. You know, it's all a matter of production and marketing. I was discussing that with Daddy Bosco. If you have Rascal, who can have the biggest song in Ghana, if he's able to market it well, if he's able to get the right song, because you see, there is science to the music. That's how come. Even Ruta said he was interested in the part of the songwriting, because there is science to the music before it even comes on air for promotion.
That's right.
That science, you need to understand it. That's what I did with Mampi. There were so many songs at the time. See, bigger songs. Then I said, we need something unique, something that will look, and we created it. So I'm saying that myself, I'm behind the scene, I'm still building. And let me say it here, Ruta has always been a brother that I have in mind that when the time is up, I will still call on him for us to put this thing together. We are going to, the Songwriters Association that we have, there's supposed to be a seminar, yeah? Because you know that our biggest problem has been composing, melody making, writing, and modulation. That's how come I gave you the example with the lady's song. She modulated so well with Adele's song, but on her own song, it was errors. So people need to understand that with music, there are science to the songwriting thing. So I think we are not just reggae dancehall people, just that we are all rounded. Daddy Bosco is a guru. Rutai is a guru. Myself, I am a guru. So I will plead that you find a more longer time. Like the time was too short. I mean, it's too short. Let me say it that way. You kept your guest for 1 hour, then we were waiting. Charlie, this is like a conversation that is so important. You understand? 1 hour, you have one artist for 1 hour. How could you do that? No. That's how we can still elaborate enough because our time is up.
No.
We are at a point to go into the songwriting bit now because it's not just reggae. I asked you to give me
That's one of the solutions.
Solutions. I asked you to give me the biggest high life song now in Ghana. You couldn't give me any. So the problem is not just reggae dancehall. You understand? You couldn't give me, I even asked hip hop. So why we? We are not the problem. The problem is general. Like media general, you guys should solve the problem. So let's find some better time. There's a lot to say. Seriously, the problem will be huge. As to even why we are not even on the today. There's a conversation on Twitter Space with Ghana Music Award USA. We're having a conversation on the Twitter Space as to why Ghanaian music is not able to penetrate the American market. And these are some of the things. These are some of the concerns that I will raise. We have a technical problem, a huge technical problem, and Mr. Uta will agree with me. Do you know why? Duta, one time I was on radio, they were playing your song, my heaviest rain. And I was sitting down listening, I said, look, you people, you have overlooked all the brains behind creativity in this country. And you have forgotten that music, the older you grow, the better you become, and the broader you understand the art. We don't see it that way.
But I'll tell you something, you see, I have worked with a few music people. One of the people that I have worked with that I will always be happy to be in the studio with again and again is Mr. Logic. We did one song together.
Yes.
And okay, even let's put that song aside. Let's even put that song aside. I'm of the view that a song must always be something that people will relate to.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of rhythm, melody, and lyrics. Okay.
Yes.
For me, lyrics is the most important. That's why, I mean, for someone who's coming from a dancehall background, for me, lyrics is everything because we can just do.
That's all we know.
And
you have to feel it with.
And you have to feel it up with lyrics.
Yes.
And when you hear boo, boo, get boo, boo. It could be like that for like 4 minutes.
Yes.
But it gets to a point where the audience will just go boo, boo, boo,
Yeah,
boo,
yeah.
boo. What are they saying? The boo, boo, boo? In the lyrics. It's the lyrics.
Yes.
So for us, lyrics is the whole thing. So when I hear a song, the first thing I'm looking for is what is he saying?
Yes.
What is he talking about?
Yes.
You know, and you hardly will find that in Ghanaian
it's
songs.
serious.
You see, our lady here, as I said that for most of the things I would want to say,
behind the
comments
scenes, yeah.
would do it behind the scenes because it wouldn't be nice to go into a public
No,
space,
shouldn't be offended.
you know,
It's
making
a
ourselves
professional statement.
that
Well played.
you know saying certain things. You see,
Well played.
the thing is, you must say something.
You have to
The
say something.
song must say something.
You
And
must.
and that is one thing Ghanaian musicians always lack. Even when we were doing a rendition,
Yes.
yeah, you can't even hear what we're
What
saying.
they are saying, you can't even follow.
Clarity is not there. People don't
Continuity,
even want to
you
open their
can't
mouth to
follow.
say it. You see, speak. You see that one of the things that's made the Nigerians successful is the fact that they are who they are.
Yes.
They speak like, hey,
Natural.
natural.
Okay.
So you love him for him.
Yes.
See Portable.
Yeah, portable. Portable.
Portable.
I'm a babu.
Yeah.
I live in the zoo. Zazu.
Zazu.
Just that statement alone.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Rutai,
That's portable.
are we going to wake up one morning and get a song from both of you?
Oh, very soon.
It's possible, yeah. We've talked about it, yeah.
He said it's possible. I'm saying very soon. Because the last time
I've been waiting for
the last time we did a song, we just walked in and we just
Listen,
played. It was just-
I'll slot in that song.
Yes.
And I'll keep it on repeat for the whole
Remember
day.
myself.
The whole day.
Yes. And that song was produced by Willie Roy.
Yes, we wrote it.
Willie Roy did.
He didn't even tell me the man
Yes.
produced the beat, but
The late Willie Roy?
Yes, Willie Roy.
did it, yes.
The same man.
The same man I used
You
to
fought.
have issues.
Yeah. You know? So for me, the problem is production. Production. Like after Black Hole, everyone I'm hearing is sounding like Black Hole.
Blackwell.
Not long ago, they were all sounding like Sack.
Now they all sound black.
Now
Anyway.
they're all sounding like Black Hole. What are we doing?
Anyway,
We're just as a bone
Caleb, your
crew.
time here, you didn't help us. You didn't help us.
like you said, the timing is key. Can we do part 2?
It depends from what angle you take it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's-
So
that's-
we would speak.
Come
off-
and discuss.
off-
Maybe we can come and discuss. We can come and discuss the solutions.
general-
Yes.
general-
The solutions to the
The
problem.
solution,
Okay.
yes, yes,
All right.
yes,
So,
yes.
to all the dancehall fraternity, we are back next week. I promise you. From next week, from start to finish, we are discussing you pay right here on Showbiz 927. My name is Caleb Nebo. Show produced by Bese himself. Emmanuel was on duty. Let me say a very big thank you to Daddy Bosco, Mr. Logic, and Root Eye. We'll be back same time next week. My name is Caleb Nebo. Feel free, call me Bese much. I promise I'm going to respond to it. One more thing you should know: I am still the son of a life. Gosh, this one I almost forget it. Happy birthday to police phone protocol prefect Yajima.